The knock came exactly at midnight. Not loud, not desperate. Just three soft taps that somehow sounded heavier than thunder. I remember staring at the clock in my small house in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, feeling my stomach tighten. Nobody visited me that late. Nobody even called me anymore. The rain hammered against the windows, and the wind pushed shadows across the walls. For a moment, I considered ignoring it. Then I opened the door. Standing beneath the porch light was my ex-wife. Her hair was soaked from the storm. Her eyes looked tired. Older somehow, carrying years of pain I hadn't seen before. She looked at me for only a second before lowering her head and whispering words I never expected to hear. "I'm sorry. I'm not what you expected. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video. Leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel." Stories like this remind us that sometimes the most broken moments lead to the greatest healing. 3 years earlier, Rachel had walked out of our marriage. At least that's how I saw it. We had been together for 12 years. We met in college, built a life together, bought our first home, and dreamed about growing old side by side. I thought we were happy. I thought we were strong. But life has a strange way of hiding cracks beneath beautiful paint. Rachel struggled with things she never fully shared with me. Anxiety, self-doubt, the constant feeling that she was failing everyone around her. While I was busy building my construction business and chasing financial stability, she was quietly fighting battles I couldn't see. Instead of asking deeper questions, I assumed everything was fine. Instead of listening, I focused on fixing. Instead of understanding, I offered solutions. Eventually, the distance between us became larger than the love we once shared. The day she left was one of the darkest days of my life. I remember sitting alone in our kitchen, staring at 2 coffee mugs. One belonged to me, one belonged to her. Only one remained warm. The divorce that followed felt less like a legal process, and more like watching a house slowly burn, while being unable to save anything inside it. Friends disappeared. Family chose sides. The loneliness became unbearable. For months, I blamed Rachel for everything. I told myself she had abandoned me. I told myself she had destroyed our future. I convinced myself that she simply stopped loving me. Then life humbled me. A year after the divorce, my business nearly collapsed. A major contract fell through, and debt piled up. I worked 18-hour days, trying to survive. During that season, I discovered how fragile people can become when they carry burdens alone. For the first time, I started understanding what Rachel might have felt, not completely, but enough to realize that pain isn't always visible. Enough to realize that people can be drowning while smiling. Enough to realize that love sometimes fails not because people stop caring, but because they stop understanding. The storm outside brought me back to the present. Rachel stood on my porch trembling. She looked thinner than I remembered. Exhausted, broken. I invited her inside. The house felt strangely silent as she sat across from me at the kitchen table, where so many memories had once been made. The rain continued falling outside, while years of unspoken emotions filled the room. What I learned that night changed me forever. Rachel had spent the last 3 years fighting severe depression. After our divorce, she moved to Chicago, hoping a new beginning would solve everything. It didn't. She changed jobs, changed apartments, changed routines, but she couldn't escape herself. Every day became a struggle. Every morning felt heavier than the one before. She admitted that she spent years believing she wasn't enough for anyone. Not enough as a wife, not enough as a daughter, not enough as a friend, not enough as a person. And because she believed that, she pushed away the people who loved her most, including me. As she sat there wiping away tears, I saw something I had never truly seen during our marriage. Not my ex-wife, not the woman who left, not the person I blamed. I saw a hurting human being, a person carrying invisible wounds, a person who had spent years punishing herself, a person desperate to be understood. For the first time in years, my anger disappeared, not because the past stopped hurting, but because compassion became stronger than resentment. The hours passed quickly. We talked until nearly sunrise. We spoke about mistakes, regrets, missed opportunities, the words we should have said years earlier. Neither of us tried to rewrite history. Neither of us pretended everything had been perfect. Instead, we finally spoke honestly, and honesty has a way of healing places that time cannot. As dawn arrived, soft sunlight pushed through the windows. The storm was gone. The world outside looked washed clean. Rachel stood near the front door, preparing to leave. I didn't know what would happen next. I didn't know whether we would ever become a couple again. And surprisingly, that question no longer felt important. What mattered was that two wounded people had finally found peace. Before she stepped outside, I noticed something different in her eyes. Hope. Not certainty. Not perfection. Just hope. Sometimes hope is enough. Over the following months, we stayed in touch slowly, carefully. No expectations. No promises. Just two people learning how to be honest with each other. We shared meals, talked about life, supported each other through difficult days, and little by little, trust returned. Not the trust of our old marriage, something stronger, something built on truth rather than assumptions. A year later, we stood together at a small community fundraiser in Cedar Rapids, watching families laugh and children play. Rachel squeezed my hand. In that moment, I realized something important. Love is not finding a perfect person. Love is seeing an imperfect person completely, and choosing compassion anyway. If this story touched your heart, please leave a like, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe for more emotional stories that remind us of the power of forgiveness. Special request, comment below with the words "second chances matter." If you believe people can grow, heal, and become better than their mistakes. Rachel's midnight visit didn't erase the pain of the past. It didn't magically repair every scar, but it taught me a lesson I'll carry forever. People are often fighting battles we know nothing about. A little understanding can save a relationship. A little kindness can change a life. And sometimes, the person standing on your doorstep in the middle of the storm isn't asking for a miracle. They're simply asking to be seen. That rainy midnight became the beginning of something neither of us expected. Not a perfect ending, something better, a human one. And sometimes, that's the most beautiful ending of all.